Hi guys, we're going to talk a little bit today about the Pandemic Rally, an event that's coming up and will run over the next 3 or 4 weekends in May, and we hope to have more dates in June as well for those who can't make it. Just to explain a little bit, the event will happen on different days. It'll be exactly the same event but on different days. But what we're trying to do is limit our impact on Salisbury Plain with the authorities, with permissions, and ride in smaller groups. So we're not all going down there in one big group. We also were going to do it as a rally in a box, but we're not going to do it that way anymore. We're going to do it as a pop-up event. There needs to be a Rally Moto team there needs to be backup, there needs to be support, and there are a lot of people to deal with on the plane in terms of sort of the military police, the standard police, the people that run the ranges and the ops centres down there, and we need to talk to them and assure them we're being professional with an approved route, etc. So doing it as rallying a box is not going to be an option. We're basically going to run 2 classes for the event. The road books are going to be different for each class. The extreme side of it is really extreme navigation. It's really quite tough. So the extreme road book is a full-size rally road book. So you'll get this on the day. It's pre-marked up. This road book has missing tulips in it. So you have to run on bearing only. So that's what we kind of mean by extreme on this. The terrain for this one, there are some sections which are extreme terrain as well, and quite a step up from what we've done in the past. You're going to need your own gear, you need your own setup, and you're going to need something to time yourself through the stages as well, but we'll come on to that in a minute. The Adventure Rally class is basically a step up from the cannonballs we've already been doing. So the terrain is not going to be much harder, and the road book's going to be the sort of cannonball format road book. So it's going to be narrower. You can use this with higher equipment. For Rally Moto, we'll have everything there. Much easier to understand, much more instructions, and all the tulips will be filled in. The route is different to the extreme route. So we miss out the technical, difficult terrain, but it is a step up from a cannonball. If you're riding a GS on knobbly tyres, you'll be fine riding this route. I've ridden both the extreme and the Adventure Rally class on a KTM 950, so that kind of puts things into perspective for you. This road book is very much simpler. This road book is the complicated road book. On the Adventure Rally, you will only receive penalty points through the tracking system on navigation errors and the speed zones, the speed limits. And each stage you run through on navigation will have a speed limit on it. So that's very, very much a simpler rally. On this road book, things get slightly more complicated. Book you can see here as the start of a stage. So this will be marked up on the road book, and this has a distance and a target time. So stage 1 on the Pandemic Rally for the extreme route has a target time of 17 minutes 40 seconds. It gives a distance of 8.83 kilometers. It's an average speed of 30 kilometers, which doesn't sound high, but it's quite difficult to attain when you're doing advanced navigation, and there could be a lot of stopping on the track and checking your way, etc., and backtracking. So this system, you will need your full road book system, you'll need a very accurate ICO, you will need cap or bearing, so you can run the blind tulips as we call them, and that's just on a heading. And you'll also need something to time yourself through the stage that can be activated on your handlebars, so a little stopwatch on the bike. If you want to do that, my advice is if you haven't done anything that involves being timed through the stage before, just ignore the timing element. Just keep an eye on your speed limit in the stage. The speed limit is marked on the road book as well at the beginning of the stage, and that's 60 kilometers an hour as a top speed. So even if you get a puncture at the start of the stage, you still cannot do more than 60 kilometers an hour in that stage. Speeding in stages you get some heavy fines in terms of penalty points for speeding in stage. I'd say ignore the average speed element until you get to the end of the stage. So the thing to concentrate is in getting the navigation absolutely right in both classes and keeping down below the speed limit. If you do that, you'll be doing quite well. The guys that are used to running at average speed or used to running a time section, you get the time again at the end of the stage on the road book as a reminder, so you can slow down at the end of the stage and wait for the time to come up as an accurate time. If you're within a minute of the target time, there's 0 penalty points. I think the best score we've had has been around about 50 points for the whole rally, with someone being very accurate on their times and very accurate on their navigation. So it's easy to accumulate points, and one slip up in a stage will generally generate you some penalty points. It doesn't matter if you're doing the adventure rally or the extreme rally, both the same start point and both the same finish point during the day. The adventure rally course is a little bit shorter. As an optional extra, the day before the dates we have for the pandemic, we're actually running a training day. So if you want to get into this and you want to get into the harder navigation, we're running a full day at the same start location as the pandemic, and we're covering off everything from basics through to the adventure rally navigation, and then an option at the end of the day would be to try a little bit more advanced navigation as well. So we can take you right from sort of starting right the way through to the end on a training day, and have a bit of a classroom session, and then 2 practical runs of testing it. Then at the end of the day you get a debrief, and we'll go through the tracking system to show you where you've gone wrong, and we'll score your practice day as well. Okay, that's about it on the pandemic.